Now in this video we are going to discuss the types of elements, and when we are saying types of elements we are talking about electric circuits. So we have two types of elements, which are the passive elements and the active elements. The active element is capable of generating energy or providing power, while a passive element is not capable of generating energy, but it consumes this power. As an example of the passive elements in our life is the resistors, the capacitors, and the inductors. Of course, in this course we are going to discuss each of them and have applications on them. The active elements which generates power, as an example for them is the generators, the batteries, and the operational amplifiers or the op-amps. We are going to discuss the op-amps in our course. Of course, we are not going to discuss the generators because it is more complex for you. Okay, we are here talking about the basics of the electric circuits. The active elements or the supply is divided into two main categories. Okay, the first one is called the independent source, and second one is dependent source. From its name it seems that one of them does not depend on anything, the other one depends on something. So for the independent source, it does not depend on any element inside our circuit. Okay, for example, we have here this one. This one is called a voltage supply. It's symbolized by a circle with a positive negative. This means that it is a DC voltage supply and provides current in this direction. This one is called a voltage supply. Can be also represented by this. This is also representing a battery. Okay, this one provides a constant voltage independent on our circuit. Okay, this one is the symbol of the current supply. Okay, the current supply provides a constant current regardless of our circuit. Okay, so this one, for example, we can say it provides 10 ampere. A constant value does not depend on the elements inside the circuit. This one is a 20 volt and does not depend on our circuit. An ideal independent source is an active element that provides a specified voltage or current. So this one provides a specified constant value of voltage or a certain value of voltage and or a certain value of current that is completely independent of other circuit elements. So it does not depend on any other elements. Here we have a simple circuit here. This circuit we have plus minus 35 volt, which is inside a circle. This one is a voltage source with a constant value 35 volt and does not depend on anything inside our circuit. But here this voltage or this supply voltage in the form of a rectangle or a square. Okay, a square inclined a little bit, or we can say it is in the diamond shape. We have a positive minus. Okay, this one is a voltage supply, but its value depends on 2Vx. Okay, Vx is a value of a voltage inside a circuit. So this supply depends on a value here. So this one is called a dependent source. Okay, it depends on a value inside our circuit. So the dependent source examples is this one, has a diamond shape in case of the voltage and the current. Okay, and its voltage or current depends on an element inside our circuit. Let's have an example. This one is a current source. Okay, its value, which is the voltage, its value depends on the voltage Vx, which is the voltage across the resistance. Another example, this one is a supply voltage or a voltage source, depends on Ix. which is the current flowing here. This one is a current source, also a dependent current source. Depends on voltage VAB, which is the voltage difference between A and B. But this one and this one are independent sources. An ideal dependent or controlled source is an active element in which the source quantity is controlled by another voltage or current. So this one depends on or controlled by the voltage VAB. This one depends on or controlled by IX. There are different types of dependent sources. It can be voltage controlled voltage source, current controlled voltage source, voltage controlled current source, current controlled current source. So what does it mean? Let's make it very simple. You will see that here we have a voltage source, or it can be a current source. Voltage source like this one, plus minus, this is a voltage source. Current source like this one provides current. It can be a voltage controlled voltage source. The voltage source itself is controlled by voltage. So, as an example for this, the voltage source, like this one, controlled by a voltage inside our circuit. Or it can be a current controlled voltage source. This one is a current controlled voltage source. It is a voltage source, but it is controlled by current inside a circuit, controlled by current IX. Or it can be a current source, voltage controlled. So this one is a current source controlled by a voltage inside our circuit. This one is a current source controlled by a voltage inside our circuit. So this is an example of the dependent sources. So we have said that we have two types, independent and dependent sources. So let's have an example on them.